Welcome to my quilting studio. This is the smallest bedroom in the house, and we have been working for about a year to figure out the best way to get it all in here. I had an area here with built-in shelves, and one of the shelves had a plug-in, so I plugged in my bobbin winder there. I put bins of sorted fabric in the bottom, and I put my lesser used hobbies, knitting and other things, at the top. I have to use a ladder to get up there. And then we took the handles off of the closet doors, and my husband mounted with some command strips, foam, so I could have a design wall on those doors. Here you can see it from the front. You have a little piece of masking tape that I use to pull to open the doors. I'll show you that in just a second. My husband wanted to use the wider foam board insulation, so I ended up with very thick foam board, but that's good because I can pin if I need to. I've got places for my batting, and I've got storage cabinets that I've placed in the closet. The one from IKEA, I keep regular fabric in for sewing, and then the smaller plastic one, I have my pre-washed fabric. One of the tricks to keeping a lot of things in a small space is to stay organized and not get out of control. So everything is folded as neatly as I can and put in there. This closet also had shelves built in, and I had to search for cabinet things that would fit in there. So I ended up with these drawers, plastic drawers. They work well for the smaller things. The other part of the closet is my musical instruments. I have several, and I store them there. Then on the left, I keep the finished dog beds that I make for our shelter. That's my design wall. The rest of the room, spinning around to the left, I've got a cutting table, two cutting tables actually, one for the go and one for the hand cutting. Much of my things come from IKEA. I love the pegboard. Those were new. I got them for my birthday this year. Then, because my long arm is sitting in the middle of the room, I've got storage that I can get to from the front and the back. And I keep a tension rod there and a piece of fabric just to kind of make it prettier. I don't have any trouble with drag. I do have some space there, and I can pull the cable out, the power cable out to the other side of the tension rod if I need to. Under the table, I keep my rolling bins with different projects to take to sew days. I've got rollaway bins that I store things on, my go cutting things, my rotor spinning mat, my little coffee center. My husband made this tabletop for me, and then he added some legs, and that gave me a little extra height on top of this folding table and places to store some of my longer go cutters. This little shelf is from IKEA. They're about $14, $15, and they're metal. I really like them. I have many of them. Of course, my information center. And then I have my shoe rack from IKEA that I keep my plug-ins, and I open, and I have a place to put my leaders and enders that I stitch. My little brown cabinet is from Hobby Lobby, and it lets me pull it out and turn it and make kind of a U-shaped sewing area. It's pretty handy, and then I can put it away when I don't need it. Behind the sewing machine, I have a little design wall that I have for just blocks and ideas, and that's just made from a picture frame with a polyester baby batting covered with flannel in the back of it, and the cardboard put back in. The tables are on adjustable legs from IKEA, and I have 5 legs on the table. And I've got my little hobby holster on the side where I keep my sharp objects. Keeps them handy and keeps them protected. I use the windowsill. I've got my entertainment center there. I keep my spray starch and my water, my little iron so it's out of the way and the cats can't get to it and bump it. I used some old practice quilting. This is a table runner that I cut and quilted, and then I covered the seat cushion of my chair with some practice quilting. Here's my kitty. Then again, the shoe racks underneath the cabinet with my freezer paper on top. These again are the adjustable legs from IKEA. And shelves and storage also from IKEA. IKEA sells a little gray cloth basket that you can put on this pegboard, but I only bought the metal part and then I made my own basket. I keep my design booklet in there and a few of my spare rulers. Got some more rolling bins. I've got my dog bed trash can. I line the trash can with a pillowcase and then throw my larger scraps in there to stuff a dog bed. I use my metal strips from Harbor Freight on the IKEA shelves, and I store them there, and then when I pull, I just pull on the metal and it opens all 3 IKEA shelves that are lined up. It's kind of handy. I've got the door to the restroom, and I keep a seasonal quilt hanging on that all the time. I have another hobby holster hanging on the side of the little foot frame. And in there I keep my snipping scissors, and I also keep the remote control for the lights. And I have the lights sitting on top of the cabinets under the long arm, and I can turn them on when there's a quilt there. And from the back I can get a pretty good view with my little mirror of what the underneath side of the quilt is looking like. These are some projects that need to be quilted. More storage underneath. Now the third rail, a lot of people have asked me about it. I used a plastic piece of PVC piping and a curtain rod basically that I slid through there, and I covered it in foam from the Harbor store, the Home Depot I think it was. And then pillow ticking that I stitched and slid down over the foam. So I can pin to the foam or I can pin to the pillow ticking. And then you see that I've got a little piece of the foam that I used to cover the metal. My father made these little aluminum metal pieces that we bolted onto that upright that's been on the little foot frame, and no one's known what to do with it. This is the dust cover that I made. I started by measuring the square in the front and getting that size, and then adding a seam allowance. And then I measured the sides, up the side and across the top, a little past midway, maybe 2-3 inches. And did the same, and I overlapped them, but I bound the top with binding before I stitched it together. And then once I got everything together, I figured out what the placement of the snaps. So you can see it's all bound edges. But it was practice quilting and made a cover. I did have to put darts in the side to kind of give it some support because it wanted to sag. I didn't taper it, it's just rectangles. And then I hemmed the bottom with binding as well. And I had to decide how high I wanted to make the curved opening. And it's radiused at the top in a semicircle, so I could fit the binding around it pretty easily. When it came to the back, rather than cut a separate piece for the back, I just cut the top pieces longer, and I brought them along, and I made a box corner down the back, and that's how I ended up making the back side there. It was one less seam, well, 2 actually, that I had to finish off in the end. I'll show you the inside if I can get it open. Once I got it all put together, I had all the raw edges with the binding and with the batting and the cloth, and I didn't want them to create lint, so I covered them with some cloth that I folded on both sides and just hand whipped it down, just to control dust. And that is my sewing room. Bye.